When temperatures drop and the power grid goes down, how do you heat your food? How do you stay warm? Let's chat about it today. Hello, everybody, and welcome to SuttonsDaze. If you're new here, my name is Lisa, and we are all about pantry preparedness. I am not off-grid. I have no aspirations to be off-grid. Okay, I'm a little too pampered for it. But there are aspects of off-grid living that are definitely appealing for emergency situations to incorporate into our everyday life. So you can incorporate these off-grid practices while still being on the grid, maybe save a couple of bucks, right? And be prepared for emergencies when they happen. Today, we're going to chat a little bit about how to heat food and keep yourself warm should the power grid go down. Recommended fuel sources for off-grid cooking and heating. Yes, that's where we're at today. But if you are in an emergency situation, having some of these set up for yourself is a great way of being prepared. One of my favorite ways, of course, is wood, okay? Firewood. Yes, I love heating with firewood. Yes, it has its good points, its bad points. I will forever be dusting. I mean, literally forever, okay? But it's ideal for wood stoves, fireplaces, fire pits. Ensure it's seasoned, which means it's dry, okay? And it burns less, it burns better with less smoke. So you don't want wet wood. It will not produce enough heat for you to do anything, and it spits. And you want to make sure you have the right kind of wood that doesn't spit, okay? If you're using a boiler, an outdoor boiler, then you can use pine. That's fine, because all it's doing is spitting inside. You just have to watch creosote, you know, in your chimney there. But putting pine in something like this, I'm not bringing that indoors because it spits and because it creates a higher creosote, which clogs up the flue and, you know, all of that fun stuff. I just don't need the hassle. So your hardwoods like your maple, your oak, your ash, if you're lucky enough to still have an ash forest, those are all great ways to be able to heat. Cost effective as all get out, okay? If you get it, I mean, we get it so that it's dependent. I'll put that in there. It depends on where you live, okay? But it is much more cost effective for us to heat with wood than it is to heat with propane. In addition to that, it is a bone deep warmth that you cannot obtain with any kind of other heat. Literally, no other kind of heat. I will have this kind of heat until I am too old and decrepit to carry in a log to put in there. It's that good. Yes, it is. Wood pellets are another option. I know a lot of people that have pellet stoves. It's a wood stove. It's set up for wood pellets. These are sawdust compressed into little pellets that burn, and they produce a wonderful heat also. My issue with them is that I don't know where to go cut down pellet trees. You know what I mean? So if anything major catastrophic happens, then, you know, I don't know what kind of conversion is necessary, because at least when I looked into it last, you cannot just burn wood logs in a pellet stove. There's a little conversion that needs to happen if your stove can even do that. So it's just another thing to consider. But a lot of people will get a ton, literally a ton of pellets, and they come in 50-ish pound bags, I think, on pallets. A couple pallets get you through the season. It's stacked up. It's there. I don't have a lot of experience with them because I like trees. Fire starters are super important, okay? Because not everything just goes up like that. So a lot of people will say, okay, I use the egg cartons, the cardboard egg cartons, and wax and a, you know, wick or whatever, or dryer lint, and I'll create fire starters from that. I don't. Or people will say, oh yeah, it's like the initial prepper, I can do this, you know, is dryer lint in a toilet paper tube or a paper towel tube. Yeah, I mean, they will burn. They will burn. You have to make sure, though, that you have kindling, small little slivers of wood for them to catch to get the bigger slivers of wood. Are they time effective? I don't know. It depends on how much time you have, you know. But honestly, between cardboard boxes that I don't need anymore in the garden because it's the season, or newspapers because we still get the local paper, you know, I just put those in. After I stack my wood, I stack in the paper product that I'm getting rid of, and this is a beautiful thing. Lasts us like 2-3 years too. So it's an easy thing to do, you know, just a little propane canister with a torch on the end. Yeah, there's different ways to start your fires. Okay, fat wood. There's a thing called fat wood. There's kindling, or there's fire starter bricks for easy ignition. But fat wood and the bricks can get a little pricey if you're looking at quantity. So the best way to do it is a way that is sustainable for you. You know, like the little pieces of kindling. Take one of those logs and just sliver it up. It's easy. You know, use your junk mail, that kind of stuff. It's a great way to get the fire started. Propane. I love propane. I love me some propane. So we are looking at a grid down situation. Just as a reminder, propane tanks for stoves and heaters. Perfect. So you've got the ones like this. Okay. The yellow ones are like high-powered, super high-powered ones. I found that out. Then there's these ones. There's the green ones. I don't know what all the different colors mean. Then there's the fat round green one. It's a little stumpier, fat round one. Then there's your 20-gallon, your 30-gallon, your 100-gallon. You know, propane has all different kinds of containers that it comes in. It's highly portable. It's versatile. And it works for both cooking and heating with portable stoves, grills, indoor safe heaters. It still has to be an indoor safe heater. Do not take safety for granted with these, okay? If this were to be left on and just expose the propane into the house, the tiniest little spark would blow this house off the block, okay? It's very serious. There are people that have sustained very, very bad burns by just lack of airflow with propane in the house, in an enclosed spot, okay? Even out on my back patio. Its two sides are blocked by the house and two sides are open. But because there was no wind that day and somebody didn't turn the grill off completely, the propane just built up under that cover. And that could have been really bad. The small propane canisters are wonderful, okay? They're ideal for short-term cooking needs. Store several of them because they're very cost-effective. Very cost-effective, okay? So as backup options, they're perfect. We have a multitude of them. Butane is another great thing to have. So they have butane stoves. They're compact. They're easy to use. They're popular for indoor or outdoor. You know, those little canisters, right? The butane canisters. You can store extra ones for refills. And butane is very lightweight and efficient cooking fuel. So it's a great thing to have. Those are actually some of those we use for our fondue pots. Yeah, it's great. Kerosene. I don't do kerosene, but they do have kerosene heaters. They provide a significant warmth in cold conditions and are safe for indoor use when they're properly ventilated, okay? So for me, if I have to ventilate it indoors, that means I'd rather not, but they can be used if properly ventilated. If you're going to do it safely, okay? Kerosene lamps are great for both light and a small amount of heat, but you want to ensure proper ventilation with those two in enclosed spaces. So I would say use those with caution. Definite caution. Alcohol. They have alcohol stoves. No, that does not mean pull out Captain Morgan. Okay, but they're small, they're efficient alcohol stoves, and they're ideal for compact spaces. Denatured alcohol is easy to store and to use. So it's a specific kind of alcohol. Put away the tequila, ladies. Put it away. Sterno fuel cans are, it's a small gel fuel, okay, that will work well for limited cooking needs and provide a small amount of heat. And again, those are perfect for your fondue pot. So, or your, chafing dishes, you know, that kind of thing. So they come in handy for a bunch of different stuff. Charcoal, because even if you don't have a charcoal grill, charcoal is great to have. We have a grill that does either one, and so I keep a few bags of charcoal around. It's perfect for outdoor cooking. Please don't use it in your house. Do I have to say this? Okay, but please don't use it in your house. Works well in grills and Dutch ovens, yeah. And only use outdoors as it emits carbon monoxide. So for all you people wanting to know how you bake bread in a grid down situation, you bake it in a Dutch oven. Surrounded by charcoal. Yes, it's great. Storage tips, because storing things properly makes them usable in the future. You want to keep charcoal in a dry location, store it in airtight containers to prevent moisture absorption. It will suck up the moisture in the air like crazy, okay? Natural gas, if it's available where you are. It's not available where I am. I don't ever want it to be available where I am, but natural gas generators or appliances, okay? If you have natural gas hookup, it's a reliable off-grid option for heating and cooking. However, disruptions to supply can occur during certain emergencies. So, is it a fail-safe 120%? No. If you have one of those very expensive, automatic generators like a whole house generator that, use the gas, then as long as that gas supply is not impacted, then that'll work for you. And everybody in your neighborhood will know that it's working. Portable solar generators. You see how dark it is in here today? Okay. So they have solar cookers, right? Ideal for sunny days. They allow you to cook without fuel by harnessing solar energy. So if it's a cloudy day or night, solar powered generators, same deal. These can run small electric stoves, kettles, or heaters, and are ideal for minimal power needs without traditional fuel. So it's an option, but it's very specific when you can use it, Here's an old one for you, my friends. Good old-fashioned, what? Coal, yeah. Long-burning fuel for stoves or fireplaces, though it requires specialized stoves and with adequate ventilation. So, do I recommend it? No, but I mean, if you have the proper stuff for it, then it may be an option, but it's not something that's commonly used anymore. And so on the complete opposite spectrum of coal is biomass and briquettes. Yes, biomass briquettes. So these are compressed biomass briquettes. An eco-friendly alternative to wood and charcoal. They burn cleanly and provide a steady heat source. Have I had experience with them? I have not. I'm kind of, if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of gal, so I use wood. But if you have the availability and it appeals to you, definitely go for it, okay? Corn, nutshells, or other biomass fuels. Those are biomass fuels, okay? They are often used in pellet stoves, so you can have a corn stove. And I'm not sure if corn stoves and pellet stoves are the same. Again, little research on your end, okay? But you want to ensure that they're compatible with your stove type. So if you have a pellet stove, that's not a get out of jail free card. You need to make sure that you can burn the biomass stuff in it, like corn or, nutshells or whatever the case may be. Always remember safety. Safety is so important. It's so important. So you want to store fuels properly. Okay, this could actually impact your home insurance, okay? So store it properly. Keep fuel in approved containers. Don't use milk jugs, okay? And store in dry, well-ventilated space away from living areas. So I can't store those gas cans in my living room? No, you cannot. And you shouldn't store them next to your wood either, because if anything happens, everything goes up, okay. Ventilation is super important with all of this, even with the wood stove. Ventilation is important, okay? So always use heating appliances in well-ventilated areas. That's kind of like a no-brainer, I hope, but, sometimes you got to say it, especially when you're burning things like kerosene, propane, and wood. Now, if you have a propane furnace, that's kind of handled, that's handled in the whole furnace aspect. But if you're burning something using propane, like say, I don't know, they have Mr. Buddy heaters that are meant for outdoors, then you're going to want to ventilate. Yeah. Another really big one, because so many people are not quite so lucky to get away from this, carbon monoxide detectors. It really is the silent killer. You will feel tired, and so you'll go to sleep, and you may not wake up again. Carbon monoxide detectors that are either separate or part of your fire detector, your smoke detectors, are a very important thing to have for your safety, especially when you're using alternative heating and cooking methods. Your safety should always be the utmost priority. Preparing in advance with the right fuel types for the right equipment that you have available to you for your living situation, no matter what it is an important part of preparedness. Not very many of these cost a whole bunch of money, okay? You know, obviously, if you're installing a brand new stove, whether it's pellet, whether it's wood, then it's going to cost some money, or a generator. But the little things, they're easy enough to pull off for under $100, definitely. They're a great way to stay warm, to stay safe, to be able to heat something to eat, and to be able to keep yourself warm should the power grid go down. Because in the wintertime, if the power goes out, Dime to a Dollar says your heat goes out with it. And if it takes a few days to come back, that could be a life or death situation. And I like having you around. If you want to check out other ways to prepare, check out this playlist right here. And until next time, everybody, please be safe. Stack it to the rafters safely.